Sneaker Gears? My name is Levi. Welcome to another Performance Gears episode where today we're doing our initial review on the new LeBron James 16 Low. Let's get right into it. Alright, so I'm going to start off by saying the LeBron 16 Low is not a low this year. Much like the LeBron 8, if you guys recall in years past, it's really a version 2. The LeBron 16 Low is nothing to do with low. It is a LeBron 16 that has been improved in small areas that make it a really solid performer and actually make the LeBron 16 pretty much obsolete. So just like in the LeBron 8, you had the first version that had some raw materials, was a little bit more premium. Then you had the version 2 that went with a full synthetic fly wire and their fused upper, so it was a little bit lighter. And then they had the version 3 for the playoffs. Well, LeBron's not making the playoffs this year, so I guess version 2 is going to have to do. So with the 16 Low, or version 2 as I'm going to call it, I have a little over an hour of play into these guys. If you look on the bottom, I actually haven't even cleaned them off. And if you're wondering, Levi, come on, that's not enough time to do a full review. It's the same tooling. It's the same ridiculously good traction. The only difference, and it's a big difference, is the upper and pretty much the entire top of the shoe. The upper, and they made really nice changes to this. So first and foremost, let's go from the top down and go with the fit. All right, so you can definitely go true to size as these are wide foot friendly, and you can definitely torque them down. But if you have a normal or narrow foot, I actually might recommend going down half a size. I still have some of the room in the front of my toe, but unlike the 16 standard, there is pretty much no heel slippage. Locking this down is amazing, and we'll go into two things, the lockdown and the material. So first, the materials. If you guys take a look at this, they used almost like a jacquard upper. So it's not knit, so it doesn't have that premium feel, but the containment is better, the lockdown is better, it just feels like a better shoe. And although it's not a full-on upgrade as far as how the materials look or touch, it is an upgrade in the performance. And what I like about it is still where you touch the shoe, it's kind of a suede or nubuck right here where you see the lion's head, and then you have a nice heel area where this is all leather as well. So you still have premium touches that make it a LeBron and make it worth, I think, $160. So this is a $25 discount to the regular model, but still on the high end of pretty much most shoes on the market. Another aspect that I really like is the lockdown. So we talked about the materials, and the lockdown is aided, but I think this is really cool. If you look at the lacing system, it actually laces each side. So it laces right here. So you're able to tighten the left side and the right side separately. Now I have a wide foot, so that allowed me to loosen kind of where my foot is wide right here in the middle, but keep the forefoot, the right side and the top tight, which gave me an incredible fit. So I'm going to talk about how I feel later on in the video here, but when you have a shoe that fits you really well, that goes a long way. I think the second most important thing opposed to fit is the traction, and this is one, if not the best traction on the market, and we keep kind of sleeping on it because it's an expensive shoe, and the LeBron 16's been around for a while, and this is the same traction that was on the LeBron Soldier last year. Again, that was my #1 traction for 2018, and it really hasn't gone anywhere. I didn't wipe it at all, and you can still see some dust bunnies right here. And this thing is ridiculously good. And I was testing it with some other shoes, if you follow me on Instagram, against the KD12, which I'm finishing testing up, against the KD9s, which also is a full-length Zoom Max, has really good traction. And this is easily the best of the bunch. So that's partly where that money's going, where you're getting the best of the best as far as the performance. Now, working our way down, the cushion is the cushion. This is exactly what you're getting on the LeBron 16. The only difference is because of the upper, this does feel lighter on foot. I actually was able to play with these hand in hand, or I mean a foot on foot, where I had one on each shoe, and this is just, it's lighter. It feels a little bit more flexible with that upper, and even though this is a knit and obviously it feels nice, has a premium touch, this just plays better, guys. Like, it really makes the LeBron 16 obsolete. So my initial reviews, this is kind of a full review in comparison. The 16 Low is the shoe to get. Do not get the LeBron 16. I'll have some close-up shots here, but guys, you can take a look. This is not a low by any means. This is essentially the same height. If not, you're talking about maybe a quarter of an inch, if that. So it says low, but this was always a low, but this is just very simple. The tongue has a stretch to it, so it doesn't have that accordion style tongue, which is a little bit different, but getting it on is not a problem. Again, go with your true size or maybe a half size down, but it's wide foot friendly. The materials are upgraded. It's a solid shoe. So where does this fit and who should buy it? All right, so as far as Nike's lineup, you have the $185 for LeBron 16. Cross that off your list. You have the Jordan 33, that's $185. Might be worth it if you get a pair that actually works for you, but overall it's been very inconsistent, so you can almost cross that off your list. So at $160, this is actually the most expensive shoe you can buy from Nike outside of the Adapt BB. That's $350. Now this has their most premium cushioning, which is full length Zoom Max. So this is really competing up against, I would say, 4 different shoes, 2 from Nike and 2 from the Adidas camp as far as max cushion. One from Jordan. The Why Not 2. That is going to play a lot quicker. It's going to give you similar levels of support and lockdown, if not maybe a little bit more support, but all that cushion's on the forefoot. It's decoupled, and it's a shoe that really encourages you to move quickly, so it doesn't have as stable or flat as a base. The second max cushion from Nike is going to be your Nike KD12. Now I have a full review on that, but the KD12 is a lot lighter and a lot closer to the ground. Again, you're getting a similar bouncing effect. Now the difference is going to be with that, the LeBron 16 plays a little bit more firm, but when you push off to run or when you land, you really get that energy return. Whereas the KD12 cushion is bouncy on the onset, very similar to what the KD9 was. Now, if you go to Adidas camp, you have the Boost Marquee, which is going to give you a lot of boost, but not nearly enough support. And that's going to give you that similar kind of mid or high, depending on what size, what kind you want to get. And then you have the T-Mac Millennium, which is going to be the closest competitor. That's going to be another shoe that's $160. That's going to be super plush, a lot of boost, and give you a lot of support. So that's the closest competitor. So of those two, honestly, it's going to be which one do you like better on your foot. The T-Mac Millennium is a little bit more firm, and again, I would say maybe it's a little more supportive with the materials, whereas the materials I think are probably a little bit nicer to the touch. And then you obviously have your preference between having Boost, which is a little bit more plush, versus having your Zoom Max, which is going to give you a little bit more bounce. But traction-wise, both of those are going to be really solid points. It'd be tough for me to tell you which one you should go to, but those are ones you definitely can try on. Obviously, depending on what price you can get them at makes a big difference. But if we're saying apples to apples at $160, those are going to be your 2 best options. So the LeBron 16 Low is one that I'm debating if I want to keep, only because I do like the Why Not 2 for my personal style to play if I am playing full court and I know we're going to be doing runs. That one, it just feels a little bit lighter on foot, even though weight-wise they're very similar. Second, if I really want to go lightweight and I have a little bit more bounce, the KD12 is just an awesome option where you're getting that cushion, you're getting almost the same amount of support, if not maybe a little bit more technically, but you're getting all that cushion as well. So both of those are kind of the bookends, and this is kind of right in the middle where you get that stable platform, you get the support that's kind of right in the middle, and then you still have something that feels hefty. I think players who want to feel something on their foot, a lot of the older style guys who are used to playing in leather or suede back in the day, this is a shoe you feel on your foot. It does not disappear. So that's not a negative thing. Sometimes you want to know that you're being wrapped up, you want to feel that containment, you want to know that, hey, you are strapped in, ready to go. The KD12 is something that kind of disappears on your foot. It's really light, and the Why Not 2, you really only get that benefits if you are going, if you're running. Whereas this, you're going to get the benefits no matter how you're playing. If you're in the post, if you're driving to the lane, this is something you can enjoy throughout all aspects of the game. So hopefully that gives you an idea, depending on what kind of hooper you are, who this is going to best serve. Alright, if you like that video, please give it a thumbs up. We do have the full KD12 full review with a comparison on all shoes if you have the questions you guys have been asking. So check that out. That's going to be coming out the next day here. As always, subscribe to the channel. Hit that thumbs up if you like it. Put on the alerts so you can see any new videos are coming out. If you're not following us on Reddit, you can follow us on Twitter where I put some of my thoughts. Follow us on Instagram. And any comments, you guys, I try to respond to everyone. Hit you back with whatever answers I can to help out as much as possible. As always, I really appreciate you. This is Levi with Sneaker Gears, and I'll come at you later.